Welcome to Heart of the Matter. Yeah, where we have vulnerable and honest conversations about life and relationships. You know what we say? Can't come out here with clothes on. We skinny dipping, okay? We getting emotionally buck naked.
Yes, sir.
I am your boy, relationship and life coach Christopher Doc Reed. Here with my guy, Pook. What's up, bruh?
What's happening? Ready to get it going, man?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So listen, man. We got a good one today.
We do.
I feel like we done this before.
Yeah, we have. Literally.
I feel like we've been here before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A time or two.
Yeah, but they y'all haven't heard this story. Now, I grew up around this guy. I wasn't significant enough at that age to be on his radar because he was older than me. I was on Christopher, street named after, me.
Right.
And he was he was on Greenbrier.
Okay.
And so we right here, we perpendicular. So he was with the older cats. So you know him, music and all of that.
Yeah.
Y'all do like Madison Square Garden, all the big 100,000. Yeah, that's what y'all do. So listen, we're going to get into it. And I got to say, man, I do apologize ahead of time. Because I know how you feel that we don't have more light-skinned brothers on the show.
Yeah.
But we're going to get them. But this
We're
not,
going to adjust.
Yeah,
We're
not
adjust
today.
today.
So
right.
everyone welcome Tony Sanders.
Yes, Tony Sanders, people. Sanders.
What's up, bruh?
Sanders.
So we got some pigment envy going on over here.
We got some who?
Pigmentation.
Pigment.
You talking about the light skin, dark skin?
Oh, pigment envy. Yeah.
Is that what we got
He does feel a way about us.
Oh.
Yeah. He feels a way. So it's in his contract. We supposed to interview so many light skinned brothers per. You feel what I'm saying?
Is that what it is?
A balance, man. A balance. We got to keep it balanced out
Okay.
here. That's
Yeah.
Next
That's
time,
a-
I wear my foundation next time. That way you'll feel a bit better.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
good, man.
Good, man.
good,
Excited
good.
about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now there's some commonalities here. Parents, preachers. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Y'all got that going on.
Definitely.
Siblings 20 and over, like number
It's
of
a lot.
siblings.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Nine.
Yeah. Big family.
Yeah.
Family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big family.
Yeah.
Music.
Music.
He into the music. Grew up. He's singing, and now we go inside to do concert
things
shows
together,
and music and stuff like that.
And I
So
like how this came together. He tackled you and said,
he
"I can't
did.
be on your
He
little
said, "Hey, man,
podcast."
listen, man,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
do-" He said we do more than music together.
Only
Go ahead, let me
because
talk to
I'm seeing now because of the pigment envy. I get why he didn't call me now.
you see it now.
I see it
Yeah,
now. I
he's
see it
prejudiced,
now.
man.
Can't hide
It's
it
called
no more.
Poop. They call that colorism, bro.
Can't have no more.
I need you
Can't
to.
have
I need you to elevate.
I had to have him call you.
Yeah.
You know, and then
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have greenlit it right there.
Well, I mean, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you saw the pigment.
Yeah. Okay. I see. It's excuses.
You said,
Excuses.
yeah.
All right. So listen. Now, what we normally do, we go to the beginning. We talk about, what your family, parents taught you about relationships. And I do want to do that, but there's a theme in your life, man. Tragedy at different points. And even starting out, I don't know, maybe he was about 5, man. Talk to us about your bio dad. Like what happened?
My biological dad was killed when I was 5. He was killed in 1972. I have vivid memories of my dad picking us up and coming spending time with us. I have vivid memories of my dad being drunk. I mean, when I say drunk, I mean drunk.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I got that story. My dad used to lose his car. Like, Sunday, he'd be like, I don't know.
my dad was never. He was. I don't know that he ever did anything to that. I know he would get playful when he was drinking and serious at the same time. So
Okay.
I can remember one time him coming in and I said, "Dad, you drunk?" And he looked at me like he's about to chew my head off.
Oh, really?
He lit into me. He's like,
Okay, don't acknowledge the elephant.
Don't you ever?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And so then he went laid down across the bed and
It was gone.
conked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember those memories. I remember him picking us up and taking us for rides, and he would tell us what our names were and how we got our names and all that good stuff. You know, so
you got real vivid memories.
Oh yeah, I got. Real
How old were you at this time?
I was 3-4 years old.
Yeah, you got real vivid memories.
I remember my dad that vividly. I can remember when my aunties came and told us that he had been shot. Being playful.
Okay.
While he's drunk at a bar with somebody who just wasn't playing either. And it was over a girl too. So,
gotcha.
And then so it ended in life that day. It was July of, I think, right the day before 4th of July, July 3rd, or July 2nd or 3rd, 1972.
Wow. It sucks when it's around a holiday because then it messes it up for you. Like, it's a constant reminder.
Yeah. We, we were. I remember my aunties came to the door crying. They called my dad D, and they said, D is dead. He dead. He gone. And they cried, and we standing there looking. We cried.
Did you? I mean, at that age, did you understand?
I understood it. I'm telling you, it's vivid.
Because a lot of times kids don't understand.
I understood it.
The finite nature of death.
Okay. All three of us did. And my brother was a year older than me. My sister was 2 years older than me. So we all three of us understood it.
Okay.
When it was, said to us that day. And instead of in the doorway, we lived 817 Superior Avenue.
Okay. Yeah. So you, at that time, your mom was married to your stepdad at that time?
Yeah. Okay. My mom had been married to my stepdad. And I'm going to say that I can even remember when we moved in with my stepdad when they got married. So I had to be 2.
Dang.
Man, you got a good memory.
I was going to say, I don't remember anything beyond 10.
It had to be maybe 2.
Before 10.
I can remember my stepdad always had a lounge chair or a recliner. He always had a recliner in his room.
Okay.
That was his chair.
That was his chair.
Better not be.
And I can remember her bringing us into him when we first got there, and introducing us to him. He was sitting in that chair, and everywhere we moved to, the chair came. And then when the chair he had originally got gone, he bought a furry blue recliner chair that he had in his bedroom.
All the dads had that chair.
Yeah,
your dad have a chair?
He did have a chair.
Yeah, they sit in that chair, read the paper, do everything in that chair.
Yeah, he relaxed. That was relaxing.
One thing about my mom and dad is I never saw them show affection. I never saw them hold hands.
I didn't see that either.
Never saw them hold hands. I never saw them kiss.
Me either.
That's great.
Me either.
I saw them go to church together.
Yeah,
I didn't even get that.
I mean, because we always go to church.
Yeah.
We didn't have a choice. My dad later on became a Baptist preacher.
Okay.
And we would go to church together every Sunday, and Bible study, choir rehearsal, and then my mom got tired of the Baptist church because she wasn't getting what she needed, and she ended up joining Pentecostal church.
Now that's a totally different flavor.
Totally different flavor, man.
Totally different.
So she took us with her.
Okay.
And so
now, was that a little culture shock for y'all? Because
no, I was happy. I was excited because the music, man. It was,
it
was like come on, man. This is
it's different.
Yeah, and so once we left and went there, my dad probably 4 or 5 Sundays, he going to church by himself. He was like, okay, let me go over here and check out what they got going on.
So that didn't cause no rift in between them when
Maybe,
Mom Dukes did that.
But again, we never saw that.
Okay.
We never saw them arguing. We never saw them hugging or kissing. I think one time I remember them arguing. One time over my aunt's, his cousin. We called her our aunt because she was older, Martha. She lived next door to us, and she had a bootleg joint in her house. And I think one time I remember him and my mom fussing in the kitchen over her house. But that's the only time I ever saw him fuss.
So go back to what you were saying, because literally, like you saying about the affection. Yeah. It's crazy now that I'm older. We were just having this kind of conversation with my mom, right? I'm like, Mom, I don't remember as much as we was in church,
Yeah.
as much as they showed, we knew they loved each other, right?
Yeah.
But it's just the expression of it, right? It's
like he didn't walk up to her and pat her on the booty or nothing.
It wasn't none of that.
Never saw
you know
that.
what I mean?
Never kiss on the cheek.
Never see. Like even with us though, like I told her, I said, "Ma, I don't remember my mom as humble, and my dad was." Back then, whatever my dad said, it went, right? That's our story. It just went. No fussing, no nothing. He say we going here, she going. So she followed and, whatever. But when it came down to like, come give me a hug. Come give me a kiss.
I never saw that.
The affection part, I'm like.
Now you the second oldest, right?
Yeah. And
so something was going on.
Where did I?
Because it's like 12 of y'all.
But it's a lot of
something was going on.
There's a lot of us. But let me piggybacking off what you said. It's like, it's amazing that the love that we knew was there was never showed.
And
it's like, where do you pick that up at?
So
why do you think that was?
So when do you think?
I think it was maybe taboo to me back in the day to even church-wise, right?
Like that,
church and talk about love, talking about how you show it.
And if you show it in front of your kids back then,
right, it's almost
I think it was
form
considered
disrespectful,
perverted.
Yeah,
you showing your kids how to kiss, and so the church was.
Was it like sin almost?
I
Like,
wasn't
sin. I just think it was like
inappropriate.
Yeah, it's inappropriate.
Okay,
inappropriate behavior.
Yeah, okay, it's inappropriate.
So they didn't. We had to learn about relationship from the church. Our parents wasn't teaching us about relationship.
And what was the church teaching?
What the Bible say.
Yeah. Well, it was marriage. Just
honor marriage. Don't hold your body until you get married. Okay. Honor your wife. Honor your, So
you got a framework, but it was incomplete in some ways. Yeah.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
They was giving us the principles of marriage.
Right. Yeah.
Or relationship, so to say. And then all of the people at the church, they didn't hug and kiss either.
Yeah.
Right.
And then if you go into, and maybe the same with Baptist or whatever, but Pentecostal, where the standards are super high with holiness, you don't even want to give the very appearance of evil.
Don't be showing these kids how to kiss.
No,
that's what you're doing. You're teaching them how to kiss.
No makeup, skirts down to the floor, all that.
Yeah, come on, man.
It was a lot. But you brought that up, and I was like,
say marble not.
Right.
And it was supposed to be marble not. Marble not. You can't play marbles.
right. Marble not.
You couldn't play cards. You couldn't go to the movies.
Yeah.
None of that, man.
Oh, that was going to send you straight to hell.
But no, the framework of what you're saying, right? Yeah. But then it's along the lines, it's like, it's affectionate. I had daughters. So with me, it's a natural thing, right? To say, I want to be affectionate with my daughters, right?
Yeah.
But then I have my stepson, and it's like, what's the in between? Because he need a hug too. He need a hug. But where do you learn that?
Yeah, I think I overloved my kids when we were coming up.
So I was going to ask you. So pretty much your parents didn't teach you technically anything about relationships. So you tried to
every chance I
overcompensate.
got for my kids to see me, grabbing my wife's booty.
Yeah, no,
I was, I'm grabbing, I'm loving, I'm hugging, I'm kissing. I'm hugging them, I'm kissing them, I'm telling them I love them, because I told my daughters growing up, and they'll tell you, ain't no other man gonna ever tell you he love you more than I do.
More than I do. That's dope.
I did that with my children, but I discipline them too.
Mm-hmm. So you know about that rod, huh?
Listen,
of correction.
Listen. I didn't play. My kids will say if they see this, he sure did.
Okay, you didn't want Tony's. You didn't want that smoke.
No, you didn't want that smoke.
Yeah,
not my household.
Okay, so it's safe to say that you were ill prepared for relationships.
I was. Okay, I was. I was not. I wasn't equipped.
Okay, all right.
I wasn't equipped.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I
wasn't given everything that you needed.
Right.
Yeah. Some of the things.
Yes.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
Foundation with your belief, Christianity and all that.
That was there.
Yeah.
But how to really, all they told you was, go get you some counseling before you get married. Y'all go to counseling with the pastor.
Yeah.
Now
that's one of Poop's favorite things. That's what he supports. Yeah.
No, he's been sarcastic.
I thought you.
See, this is part of what I've learned growing up as a PK kid, right?
Right.
Like your pastor, preacher.
Yeah.
They have to wear so many hats.
Yeah.
that don't mean they're good at any of it.
No,
but
that's not.
They have to wear so many because of the people that they have. They're teaching them how to be parents. They're teaching them how to be workers. They're teaching them how to work in the church.
Yeah.
And then they need to teach them their personal stuff.
Yeah.
And they go into be a husband, be a wife, be a mom, be a dad. Yeah. And it's like, how do you know they're expert at any of this? Right. But it's just the expectation of doing it. And it's like they can give you, what I start learning is, there's a lot of hurt people in church. A lot of hurt people in church, right? Yeah. So a pastor that's giving you some counsel based off of how you listen, how you react, how you do things, is basing that off of some of their feelings and what they got going on too, right? Absolutely. So it could be misguided information that they're giving to you, because we always had a destination to be married, right? This is where we want to be at, right? Yeah. But how you get there was foggy, because it's like, I know I'm supposed to be here. This is what you're preaching and pushing and going, but how do we get there, right?
Yeah. And even in that, because I was having a conversation with we have to learn how to. So those of us, like I'm going through a course right now called cleaning. It's a cleaning, spiritual cleaning. Mm-hmm. And we're dealing with knowing the Father. Okay, which really entails you being able to, knowledge is a taught behavior. Mm-hmm. Okay, you have to, and generally when you're getting knowledge, there is someone teaching. Mm-hmm. Okay, how did Jesus know to do the things that he did? That's mm-hmm. what we need to ask ourselves sometimes. Mm-hmm. And how he knew mm-hmm. was because the Father did it first. Mm-hmm. So he followed the example of what his Father did. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's how he obtained the knowledge of it, mm-hmm. because his Father did it. Mm-hmm. Okay? So what I'm learning about us is that those of us who had fathers in our lives, we mimic what we saw them do.
Yes, sir.
And if they weren't doing it correctly, we carried whatever they showed us mm-hmm. on into our lives to be that person too. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. So we're mimicking the knowledge that we got from our fathers. Yeah. So, but what we need to be mimicking is what Christ did. Right. Because he was the one that set the example from his Father.
Right, right.
So where we are now in our lives, we do things like, if our parents beat us or they whooped us when we were younger, mm-hmm. and we felt like, I was having this conversation, and I hope my wife don't mind me sharing this, where she has this thing with her dad, because her dad was present in her life and in her home. Mm-hmm. However, she never felt like he protected her because mom was aggressive. Okay. Yeah. Mom was a disciplinary. Yeah. Okay. And so whenever she got disciplined, majority of the time it was mom. And sometimes she didn't feel like the disciplinary actions were warranted or maybe a little extreme. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And her thing growing up was, why didn't my dad protect me?
He stepped in.
So now she's living her life out where she doesn't necessarily trust the protection from a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
gotta
saying?
look out for myself.
Right.
Because you're the man who was supposed to, my dad, it didn't happen that way. So what's supposed to make me think that
you can do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're my dad, super dad. He couldn't do it. He didn't do it.
He didn't do it.
Yeah.
Or accepting how you are, trying to give it to you.
Yeah.
Because that's a learned thing also. Yeah. Going through similar, my parents, my dad, 4 boys, 2 girls. He was the disciplinary person for the boys. Yeah. I'd never seen him with my sisters. Ever. Yeah. Ever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My mom handled my sisters. Yeah. So his thing was, I won't ever hit them while I'm upset, because I don't want them to feel like I can over hit them and be too hard, right? Mm-hmm. Because I'm a man, right? That's his thing. So my mom would discipline them. Now, he would tell them, sit down, do da-da-da-da-da. He would keep them together. But whooping them, he never did because he didn't want to,
You know, that's funny because I just shared a story with an older guy. He's in his 80s, about to be 80. And a close friend of mine, family, my brother's ex-wife's family. Mm-hmm. And we were all talking. And he was talking about, I never whooped my daughters. My dad didn't never whoop them when we was growing up. He said, when they would act up in school and I get a call at work saying, hey, your daughter's acting up at school. Mm-hmm. He said, when I got home at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, he said, I'd wake them up. And he said I would give them the White Tower burgers, the big old burgers. Mm-hmm, yeah. He said I'd make them sit up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and eat them, and that was their punishment.
Oh, okay.
I said, wait a minute.
Indigestion.
And listen, and so they all kind of.
Yeah. They got in trouble a lot, huh?
Y'all was always on punishment. Saying that because I'm thinking to myself, I said, dude, you giving your kids all this
high cholesterol and everything.
Right. You wonder what's wrong now.
Yeah.
40, 50 years later,
Yeah.
But he said that's how he would discipline them.
And I'm like, and that just speaks to we just don't know what in the world we are doing. But so I want to, because I'm trying to carefully share your story.
And let me say this before let me give this disclosure. I'm not saying he didn't know what he was doing, because he did what he knew to do.
Absolutely. Because
I say this about everybody, even my wife's dad. Babe, you can't hold anything against a person who did only what they knew to do.
That's it.
And when I say know what we're doing, Pook and I talk about this all the time. There's no manual.
There's no manual.
He know. I've been in situations as a parent where I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
I'm tapped out. I have no idea.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Me and my wife, I don't know.
We came up and we spoke about so many times what's the right way, right?
Yeah.
Now, we can say we may have a direction to go in, but my mom says it all the time. 6 kids, all raised in the same house, all by the same 2 people. Yeah. But all 6 of them have grown up with their own perspective and what they have done. Some are good, some are bad. But she's not about to take the fault for the bad when she knows she intended good, right?
Yeah.
So her thing is, it works out the way life gonna happen.
Yeah.
And if my brothers choose to do something dumb, she's like, that's because I wasn't raised right. That's their choices.
Their choice. Yeah.
But what's the right way?
Yeah.
What's the formula for this?
Been there, done. I can remember a phone call from my ex saying we had 5 children that we raised together, and she called me. My daughter had just turned 15, or not too long, turned 15, and I said, "What's up? What's wrong?" She said, "You got that? Your daughter coming to you. I'm sending her straight to you." I said, "Where's she at?" She said, "She in jail right now." So she get out of jail. I said, "What's she in jail for?" She said, "I had to have the sheriff take her away. But she jumped on me. She beat me up." I said, "Beat you up?" I said, "What?" I'm thinking to myself, now I'm all the way in Georgia. They in Ohio. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't know what to say or do at that time. And then when she got to me, I still didn't really know
what am I supposed to do?
What am I, because I'm married to somebody else, and I'm like, is she gonna come over here and beat her up too?
How old was your daughter at the time?
15.
Oh, wow.
So, she walking around with a chip on her shoulder.
Yeah, it's a great age.
And then she come live with me, and she's sneaking out the windows and sneaking out the house. And I'm like, oh, my God. My daughter she didn't have issues.
Yeah.
My daughter had topics. Okay? When I tell you, she had topics. She was a miniature terrorist.
Okay.
And she terrorized me and her mother. This is the baby girl. And so out of my 4 girls.
Come on, encourage somebody right now that's going through my
she's
minister.
The baby of the baby.
Yeah.
And so it was just difficult for us to discipline her when she was a baby, when she was younger. she didn't get disciplined like
the
other kids.
You saying y'all spoiled?
We spoiled her.
Okay. Okay.
So
you created that situation.
We created the monster.
Okay.
But we didn't expect the monster to be a terrorist monster.
Yeah.
We thought it would
make
just
that decision.
You know what I mean? And so I get it when y'all say there's no manual, there's no book, you know.
Bruh.
At all. Through any of this life, to hear you even say you lose your dad, you're getting raised by your stepdad.
Yeah.
How do we now know the formula to give love, raise our kids? Could it be based off of another man raising you as best as he did to try to raise you, and now you have to internalize that and then say, this is how I want my kids to be raised, right? Based off of what I saw, based off of what I didn't see or what I did get, all this information is coming through. And Tony is like, I'm 20-something now to figure, how do I love?
Yeah.
But there's more to Tony's story that I want to make sure we get to. So you went through something that I believe probably quite a few guys have gone through, but I don't believe quite a few guys are comfortable to talk about it.
Right.
So I think when you were 9, around 9?
Between 9 and 12.
Yeah, talk to us about that.
Well, during that time, my stepbrother lived with us. So my stepbrother was molesting us. And I believe that he was spreading around, to be honest with you. You know, in hindsight, thinking about it, he was molested. I think he was trying to try my brother, too, who was a year older than me. However, my brother wasn't as tolerant of it. And my sister was, if I was 9, she was 11.
Okay.
And I am certain that there was some things going on there too, with all 3 of us.
Okay.
So never really talked to my sister about it because my sister was, when she got old enough, she married and left. My mother allowed it. My mother was the kind of mother that, you know, you 15, 16 years old, you can get married.
Okay.
She would let.
She was old school.
Oh, my mom was old school. Yeah. So, but anyway, during my time of molestation, when I finally got the courage to tell my parents that I was being molested, they didn't really do anything.
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, they didn't, you know, and I don't blame them for not doing anything because,
well, we judge it by our standards today, right?
I can't hold them responsible for not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, there had to be something that you wanted.
I wanted them to kill him.
No, really. I mean, 9, 10,
you know
whatever,
beat him with a belt.
Yeah, this guy's been terrorizing
us for running through the house. Do something. I know he's 18, 19 years old, but beat him.
Yeah, do something.
Do something.
Yeah, do something.
You know what I'm saying?
Protect me, yeah.
Now, I think that, you know, the embarrassment was so much for him that maybe I think 3 to 6 months he moved out.
Okay.
You know, but
so they did confront him about it.
But baby, I don't know. There was nothing visible that I saw.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he didn't mess with us anymore, so they had to say something because once he knew that they were aware, then he didn't do it anymore.
But here's the thing, man. You still, as a kid, got to live in this house and see your victimizer every day and act like everything is normal?
Well, you know, I was in fear for a little while after I told because I didn't know what he was going to do. You know, not that I was scared of him, but.
But did he ever hit you with that? You better not tell?
No.
Okay.
He never spoke. Yeah. When he would come in and molest us, he would never say anything. And if we caught him, he would just jump up and walk out. Silence. Silence.
So at that time, growing up, there was some frustration, anger, disappointment towards your parents as a child. Like, are y'all gonna do something? Y'all not gonna spank him? Y'all
when I was
So
when I was younger.
how'd you navigate through that during that time?
God, man, it was really, you know, God taught me forgiveness. God taught me how to forgive, the proper way to, you know, my wife still says to this day, she's like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you forgive people that ain't your friends. Or I said, because I said, at the end of the day, I can't hold people responsible for stuff they don't really know and that they don't know no better than. Mm-hmm. If your behavior, you don't really know no better than that, why am I going to hold that against you? Now, if it's toxic in my life, I'm going to keep you away from me.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Right. That don't mean we got to have relationship.
That don't mean we got to have
a relationship. Just because I forgave you. Right.
Yeah. It just mean I forgive you, and it is what it is, but you can keep that toxic, energy over there. Did
you have to see him later on, even as you got older in life? 18,
I
19,
actually
20?
confronted him when I got older. When I was in my, I'm gonna say I was in my 20s, and I called him.
Now, why then?
Because I was trying to purge myself.
Okay.
Of things that haunted me from my past.
Okay.
And I was going through a course called Ancient Paths from Overflow Ministries, where I used to attend.
Okay.
And so I did what they told me to do. I confronted him.
Okay.
And
what did he say?
He didn't say much of anything. He didn't have much of anything to say. Not really.
Now, so this course you went through, it prepared you for this type of thing?
It prepared me for it.
So you were prepared for him to either not say nothing or whatever he might say, you were already prepared for that?
Or say he didn't do it, or I was prepared for anything.
Okay, all right.
At that particular point, because he never really acknowledged that he did it.
Okay. Now keep in mind,
as if it wasn't me.
This is Tony's. This is Tony's story. So some of y'all listening think, oh, okay, I'm gonna call up my abuser to no.
Don't do that.
He went through a whole course and then walked him through this process. So don't just jump out there.
Yeah, and there's a book called Ancient Paths that you can get.
Okay.
And it'll take you through some processes, but that was in ministry, being taught it in a ministry setting helped me a lot too. So when I confronted him, he really wasn't verbal about it or anything. He accepted me forgiving him, and
he received that.
Okay. And then we hung out probably a night or two later. I hung out with him.
Wow. So what was the feeling that you had that you knew you had to release that from him? When you're going down a path to say, I'm purging myself and letting stuff go, was it the feeling of, this is still on me, or what feeling were you walking around with?
Well, when I don't know if other men would talk about it or say anything about it, but when you've been molested for a time after being molested, you wonder if you're going to be gay.
Okay.
And
so you're a sexual, what is it called? Is it identity?
Yeah, it was being challenged at that time, but I knew that I wasn't attracted to men.
Okay.
However, the taboo of it was, if a man is messing with you, you might be gay, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really share it with anybody. My brother and I knew about it. And we talked about it because it was happening to him too.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't penetrate us or anything of that nature. He was just fumbling and climb on top of us and hump.
Yeah.
And it was just that kind of stuff. Or he'd pull his, his private parts out and lay on us.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. But he didn't really do the penetrating. He didn't penetrate us or anything of that nature.
Right.
Thank God. So, it was just for me, that experience, I was angry at him.
Right.
And it affected me sexually, even in my relationships with women, because I didn't want them to touch me on my private part. I didn't like for them to give me oral sex, and so that affected my relationships to some degree.
Okay.
When I was growing up, so I had to get through that. Past that.
So that makes sense.
And trust a woman to be able to touch me in that way. So forth and so on. So
that's what I was asking. Part of the anger, part of the what was going on sexually.
Yeah.
I'm like, it had to be some remnant of what this was and this feeling of what you like. I got to get this. That's why you go to him and talk to him about it, because I need that. Okay. Yeah, that making a lot of sense.
So that portion of it for me was really about releasing all of those isms off of my life.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All of those things that were kind of hanging around and, well, don't touch me. Nah, and I'm like, why am I?
Right.
Why am I tripping like that?
So it's like, because it's like he did the crime, but you was doing the time.
Right.
Oh,
yeah. And so, I had to eventually release myself from prison.
Yeah.
So to say.
Yeah.
Or get me a date that I was going to get out.
When am I getting parole?
Right.
Yeah.
And you did feel that.
I did.
That's dope.
I did. I felt free and released.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't want him to say anything. I really didn't. I wanted him to
want
know
him or need him.
I didn't need him to.
Okay. Yeah.
And I wanted him to understand.
Yeah.
I needed him to understand that he violated me.
Yeah.
And that I'm aware of it in my head.
Okay. Yeah.
And I remember what you did to me as a child.
Yeah.
And I forgive you.
Yeah.
I forgive you.
So you taking your power back.
Take my power back.
Yeah. That's great, man. Great.
Kudos
to you, man.
Yeah, big.
Oh,
gosh.
Yeah, for real.
That's major, man. Yeah. And trust me, a lot of people watching this, whether they comment on the video, don't comment on the video, you have truly helped somebody, man, by just your willingness to be transparent with that. And, that's what we say on here, man. You're not so much celebrated as much for the successes, even though we appreciate that, man, but it's your strength and willingness to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And transparent. That's what we really applaud, because we understand, especially as men, we need that.
Yeah.
We don't get a whole lot of permission to be that in conjunction with our strength.
Yeah, because the reality of it is I can meet Chris, meet Tony, and just seeing them would never know your story.
Yeah.
Never.
Would never know the reason why you operate and may be as protective as you are, or how you are, right?
Yeah.
People just see you and meet you and interact and be like, oh, I'm looking at what the product now, right? But I don't know what it took for him to be like this is, man. And so for you to have that and speak about it.
And so that's a powerful statement that you're making right there, because that's the reason why we need to forgive often. That's why we need to forgive often, because we just
don't know what a person.
You look at a person, you just don't know.
You don't know
why they are the way they are.
You don't. Yeah. You don't know.
And you want to judge them. You quick to say, oh, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's this or he's that or she's this or she. No, you have no clue what that person.
He or she, they're hurt.
They're hurt.
None.
Yeah.
And guess how many people not willing to come out and do what you talk about it,
bruh?
How many of us really
the fear of the
I didn't for a while. I didn't for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I did for a long time.
I know guys, including myself, I wouldn't talk about getting cheated on.
Yeah.
Not even going into something that deep. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't about to tell her, oh yeah, Reed, she played me, bro. Like, that. We don't even want to say that.
Been there, done that with you, brother.
Trust me. We gonna get it.
Been there, done that one too, man.
So I want to say this, because there's so much, man, to your story, but your ability to be able to clap back, be the loudest one in the room, and all that. Was Tony always that person, even as a little kid, where I'm quick and I can give it as well as I get it? Or did something happen to make you this person?
That's an interesting question. I think when I was a kid, I always, worked on being the center of attention to some degree.
Okay.
Because I was a baby in my family.
Oh, okay.
9 children. So it was important for me to be, so all my sisters and brothers were talented. They had a talent, and I was the least of the talented ones.
So you had to come up with something.
I had to come up with something.
Now you said your sister used to get with you though. You said she had
my sister had that mouth, man.
Yeah. Now you said you grew up in her training camp.
She had that mouth.
Yeah.
She taught me how to slice.
Yeah, because she would slice you.
She would slice me, bro.
Okay.
So I had to be quick on my feet.
Yeah.
You know, but my sister, she, Lord have mercy. You know, she let you have it. And the heartbeat.
Yeah.
And my brother, he was quiet.
Okay.
My brother Jesse, he really wasn't the,
clap back
now
time.
if he now to this day, he's the best clapper backer you ever gonna meet.
Oh, really?
Oh, my brother can get with you.
Okay.
You know,
he had to grow with y'all.
Right. But he's a no nonsense kind of guy.
Gotcha.
He's the guy that, look, I'm gonna play with you, but I ain't gonna play with you. You know, he that guy. Me, I've always been the loudest one in the room. Even now, and it annoys the dog stew out of me. I can be talking and I'll, hey, I'll start talking like that, right? My wife will go.
Y'all can't see his hand, but he's touching poop. You know what I'm saying? Like to say, hey, calm down.
Right. It annoys the dog stew out of me, man.
She's saying you too much, Tony. You're too much.
Right, yeah, right.
And you got, but you're saying like, wait a minute, this is my gift.
This is who I am.
This is my talent.
Who I am. Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
No, not right now. You don't.
Calm down.
And what do you do?
I could be in the room with the mayor, and it don't matter. She goes,
calm down.
Right. Yeah, and I'll be like, babe.
I wonder if your wife's a empath, man.
She is.
Because, for us, I'm an empath. Like, we're so sensitive and like loud, like sounds and lights and it's too much.
Yeah, she is.
And because if I'm talking to somebody, I do this instinctively. If I'm talking to someone who's loud, I'm going to talk quiet.
Yeah.
Because I got to bring it down. Now, if I'm talking to someone who's, I'm probably going to talk a little louder. I got to bring the balance, man. And you don't even be trying. You just do it.
She is an empath, for sure.
You're a lot for an empath, my friend.
I am a lot for an empath. And she has told me that 100,000 times.
Yeah.
But I just say, man, sometimes you have like my marriage right now is very unbalanced. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Okay.
She is the total opposite of me.
Yeah.
And I am the total opposite of her. And people say opposites attract.
Yeah.
But they really don't.
Or attack.
And so
that's why me and wifey did our podcast, Opposites Attack, man, because she and I could not be more different from each other.
Yes. I mean, we are night and day.
Yeah.
We are yin and yang. Frick and frack.
Yeah.
and I mean, so we always trying to figure out, okay,
the two shall become one. How you do that?
What is how are we going to, because the yin and yang, it comes together.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Right.
But how did they make that happen?
Right.
And so that's my journey in my life right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is I'm trying to figure out how this girl who I think is perfect for me, that balances me.
Yeah.
How do I live with? So this is how do I live with when I know I'm supposed to love, and that annoys me that I still love. So if you're doing something that really is good for me, but it annoys me, how possible is it for me to continue to love you through that without getting angry or arguing with you about it, even though I know it's good for me? It's balancing me.
Right.
And so what we end up doing is butting heads over things that we finally come to a conclusion of. It works. It's working for us and not against us. So I'm learning how to take the hand on the knee and the things that really annoy me and say, okay, she's not trying to harm me.
Yeah.
She's not trying to hurt me.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And I think we live our lives, we were taught to live our lives out of offense. So we're always getting offended by something rather than hearing it through and thinking it through before we ever respond to it.
And you're comfortable with confrontation.
I'm comfortable with confrontation.
So that means
I ain't running from it.
If the perception is that someone is coming for me, I don't have a problem meeting it with the appropriate amount of.
Listen, I practice stand my ground. I just want y'all to know.
So when you, as a man, if you feel like, your wife says something and the interpretation is,
right,
you told me to shut up.
Right.
No, I didn't.
Right.
I just tapped you on your knee.
Right.
And
so
said,
that's how I take it.
Yeah.
Shut up, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, hold on now. Come on now.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Or it's embarrassing. Most of the time I take it like little child.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Hey, little Tony.
Yeah.
Hey, little T.
Like, I'm not a kid.
Yeah.
You're tapping me on my knee in front of all these grown folks. What is that? So I want to take offense to it.
Right.
I'm learning to step back and analyze what she's doing in the moment versus immediately getting offended by it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes even in conversation, we don't do that. We don't say, Chris just said something that offended me. Okay, so Chris, let me tell you how that made me feel. That's what I should say.
Right.
Versus me just attacking him back because I felt like he attacked me.
Yeah.
It's okay to tell a person how something made you feel.
Right.
Because maybe they didn't mean it that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I want to add context to that, because for someone hearing this, they might not understand how you got there to even take offense from the get-go.
Yeah.
So your first marriage, there was some infidelity.
Yes.
There was a little infidelity.
It was a little. 7 times 7 times 7.
So you saying you cheated 7 times?
No, she cheated.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we had it.
7. That's all I know of.
Okay, let's park right there for a hot second.
That's all I know of.
Now, Pook said earlier, it'd be hard for him just to acknowledge once if he got cheated on. And in this situation, that marriage,
and so you could imagine how I felt as a man. I felt like I wasn't enough. I felt like, I was abandoned and any emotion, rejection, any emotion that you can think of.
Trust was at an all-time low.
My trust was at bottom 0. I wasn't nowhere to go but up from there. You know what I mean? So if I got with another woman, my trust level is going to be just a little bit higher than it was with her because there was nowhere else to go lower with trust. So I was at a negative.
Here's what everybody's going to ask, so I might as well ask it for them. Why did you stay? I mean, after the first one, after the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Let's go back to the beginning of what I said. Because the church taught me about relationships. The church told me to stay.
Okay.
The church taught you that you shouldn't get a divorce. You shouldn't, but let a man be beating your behind and it be physical abuse, they going to tell you to run.
But not the emotional.
That emotional abuse, which can be worse.
All day.
They tell you to stay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be better. It's going to be all right. Pray about it.
Trusting God.
Trust God.
Yeah.
So that was portion of the reason. I mean, I loved her too.
Yeah.
We had a family. There was a lot of reasons to stay. But at the end of the day, the last time just kind of broke the camel's back for me, and she had to go.
Gotcha.
She had to go.
But that wasn't your last time. Did you put it this way? And I think you might have broken Pook's record. How many times you been married?
4.
Okay, he's got you, bro.
He does.
I mean, I mean, you weren't gonna hold it forever.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, not at all. Not at all.
But no, like,
I wasn't looking to
we got some people that broke our record.
but are you? So is it that you just love? Because a lot of people have said after 2, I'm cool. Especially after coming through the first one. After 3, I'm good. Why do you keep giving marriage a chance?
Well, a couple of reasons. Now, again, I'm going back to the church.
Okay.
Not gonna live my life in sin.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm gonna get me something.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And so I could either spend the rest of my life committing fornication,
Right.
or I can choose wisely or try to choose wisely and find me a wife, because I'm a wife kind of guy. I'm not the single dude. I'm not the dude that want to live my life hopping from club to club and church to church, looking for a woman in bed at nighttime or during the week or for the next 3 or 4 months. I'm not that dude. I'm not that dude. I'm the guy that I believe that God's got. If I want a wife, God's got a wife out there for me. That she's there.
Okay.
I've been choosing poorly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you had said something. You said, man, I wouldn't have gotten into, after the last one, I wouldn't have gotten into another relationship thinking that it was going to be the therapy I needed.
Correct.
That was so powerful, man.
So prior to this relationship I'm in now, I believe that in my head, moving to the next woman was therapy for me. That was what was going to fix the next situation. Oh, she ain't the same. She not going, but I'll say this. There is something good that I lost in every woman that I was with.
Okay, explain.
That I didn't get in the next woman.
Okay.
So there was something good about that woman that is not the same as it is in this woman.
Okay.
And whatever her good quality is far from that person's good quality.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not like when we have to understand this one thing. If we're men that like to be married, I don't think that there's anything wrong with a man that wants to be married any different from a man who wants to not be married.
Okay.
Because there are people who just do not, will not, am not going to get married.
Right.
And so I am a guy that, and I don't want people to think that I'm saying just move on to the next woman. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying get to a place in your life where you healed and you're at least seeking to be healed, to be well enough spiritually, emotionally to find the woman that God has for you.
Okay. How do you think they do that in terms of getting healed?
Therapy. Therapy and the word. Stay in the word. You can't have one without the other. But I'm not talking about church counseling. I'm not talking about counseling with your pastors. I ain't got nothing against counseling with your pastors.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about going to see a real therapist, somebody who can give you some insight into why you do what you do.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And, we always have the conversation, Pook and I, about therapy.
Yeah.
Because he don't believe all therapy is good therapy.
It's not.
It's not.
I don't believe that all therapy is good therapy, but I do believe that there is some good therapists out there that will ask the right questions. Yeah. And those questions, when I first met with you, talked to you on the phone, dude, you asked all the right questions. And I was like, after I got off the phone, I'm even talking about it right now, I get chills. When I got off the phone that time with you, I was freer in that moment than I probably have been in 10 years.
Wow, Tommy.
And that's real.
No, I know it's real because I had goosebumps on the conversation.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah, but it was powerful.
But God is in the room.
Yeah, it was powerful. And I was like, you know what? I told my wife, if she was listening to some of the conversations, I said, girl, I said, I didn't know Chris was that guy, but he that guy. I said, we might need to sit down and talk to him. She said, really? You think he's open to it? I said, I don't know. I asked him.
It's what I do for a living, man.
Yeah.
So,
no, we speak about it all the time because it's many times that I've been to therapy, going to therapy for counseling and therapy with my wife, ex-wives, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody don't ask the right questions.
No.
Everybody don't take the right approach, right? And you're like, you can feel more frustrated leaving
the counseling
than you did going, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, I've seen people go to counseling for years. It never changed.
Yeah.
Nothing ever changes. I'm like, you just wasting money.
See, I need a therapist. I can pick the phone up and call him and be like, look, man, I need to talk to you right now.
So no, I believe in very good therapy does help.
Yeah.
And, I ain't going to say the cliche, but not pointing fingers at the church. In church, growing up as a PK kid, that wasn't an avenue that was pushed, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, back in the day with us, this is way back in the day, if you say you was going to a therapy, they will almost label you as crazy.
Yeah, ain't about almost.
Or something's wrong with you, right? What you need a therapist for? Just pray.
It was a stigma, man.
Just go.
You need to get on your knees.
Right.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Get in your prayer closet.
Yeah, but it's like, to me, I heard it so much. It's equal. You don't need no therapy. Just let God. Let God. You don't need to go to no doctor. Just let.
Take his old home with you, boy. Knowing all your doors, your bed.
It's like,
listen, and I'm not making fun of the church.
It sounds funny, but there's a whole lot of truth to that.
I'm just saying this, that there are some hurt people. When I tell you they hurt, bones dying, waiting for certain things to happen in their lives that can free them up. And it ain't always happening in the church. Sometimes that person got to sit on somebody's couch and talk it out.
Absolutely.
And get some of that stuff out of their system.
Yes, sir.
In order to be healthy enough to function in their relationships, in their family, on their job, period. And so that's not happening. And it's starting to really come to life for me at this point in my life.
Okay. I'm
really starting to see, maybe had I been here 4 marriages ago, I probably would have still been with the same woman.
If you had this mindset that you
the cheater, I would have been with the cheater. I still would have been there. Because I would have worked through the processes. I would have found the love that God has for us when he works through all our processes and never fails us and never walks away. I would have followed the Father's examples versus always giving in to my own emotional imbalances.
Okay.
Because sometimes you get to a place in your life where you're so emotionally distraught with your situation that you can't see anything but to run, to get out, to leave it alone. You're not even asking what would Jesus do anymore. You're not even considering it anymore. It's like, okay, we ain't doing this, and I'm saying that we ain't doing this.
Yeah, no.
What? I ain't even listening to you guys.
Right.
Yeah, and I would add to that, like, you going through that process, but as the other person going through that process.
Yeah.
Because but maybe what you're saying is like, I didn't even know enough to try to pull her along because I wasn't in the process. No. So I was hurt. I take her back. I'm hurt. But there was nothing in between there that could really get us on the right path. No. Help her understand that she doing this because she hurt.
Right.
She hurt me because she hurt. And then I could say, okay, I'm going to take the lead to get us here. But you didn't know.
I don't even think I heard the saying of hurt people until after that marriage was over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't even think I ever heard that.
Right.
So how much of that hurt from a trust standpoint, ability to be able to trust? You gone through all the stuff that you've gone through. We ain't even talked about all of the loss and stuff that you've had, but in your current marriage.
I took that hurt opened my suitcase, put it in there, closed it up, picked up my suitcase, and moved on to the next relationship. Got in that relationship, opened the suitcase, unpacked it, and I'm right there with that same distrust in that next relationship.
So you've carried all that hurt from all those relationships as a little friend, as a little pal, a little buddy.
Well, see, so what it did in my second marriage, from the first marriage, it turned me away from God, and it turned me to the streets, and I got into the streets.
Okay.
So, no, let me back up. Yes, my first marriage wasn't the 7 cheater. My first marriage was the military overseas cheater.
Okay.
She cheated on me with another soldier.
Okay.
We had a baby, and she told me the baby was his. But the baby was mine. But we looked so much alike that it could have very well been his.
Okay.
Wow.
However, I still stayed in the daddy position. I never relinquished it to him or to her what she said. Mm-hmm. So once I divorced or left her, and we divorced, my second marriage was a real woman.
Okay.
She was there for me, stood in my corner, and at that time, I decided. So my story is crazy. I went AWOL from the military. Mm-hmm. Okay. While I was AWOL from the military, I sold drugs. I came back home. I got on a plane, left Germany, just walked off the base, went to the airport, got on a plane, came back to the United States, and started living my life.
Wow.
Did that for a whole year before they caught up with me. And the only reason why they caught up with me was because I started getting reckless. I was in the streets selling drugs, drinking, and I was violent. So I get with the girl that literally saves my life emotionally. And we begin to get in a relationship with each other, and we immediately start in a relationship when I come home. So I'm still married to the girl overseas, but I'm with her. Okay, so we living together. I ain't got nothing else to do with the military at this particular point. I'm a dope dealer. I done went from soldier to dope dealer, so I'm at home slinging drugs, making money, good money, and so while I'm going through that phase of my life, what ended up happening then was I became violent towards her, physically putting my hands on her. Because the stress of being in the streets, the drinking that I was doing, it made me violent. She stayed with me for 5 years, man, going through this craziness in the streets. I had 2 other babies while we were together. She had got pregnant by me, had a miscarriage. I had 2 other babies, 2 or 3 babies while we was together. Got drunk and told her about the babies. She stayed. She loved my dirty draws.
Literally.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Literally. And so, but I couldn't see it. Because I'm hurt. Now I'm coming from a relationship with a woman cheating on me. Prior to being a soldier dude and a good church guy, I was in church. I was dedicated to the Lord, and I let that situation just ruin who that person was. And I came and brought that baggage to her and took it to the streets. And then once she left me and I realized she wasn't coming back, it woke me up. I went straight and narrow after that. Went straight and narrow. Then that's when I met my third wife. Now, mind you, I'm married to the first wife. I ain't divorced her yet. Mm-hmm. I married the second wife. In the fifth year of our relationship, and it was over within 6 months of us marrying in our fifth year being together. She went and literally got a actual divorce from me, right? Mm-hmm. Still married to the first wife. Meet the third wife. I marry the third wife. Mm-hmm. Still married to the first wife. Mm. Third wife finds out I'm still married to the second wife and has a fit. A literal, now I'm telling y'all, bro, I'm giving y'all all the
There's a book, there's a mini-series.
So look, brother, so I have to file for a divorce finally in order for them to make me and her marriage a solidified marriage. So I filed for a divorce, get a divorce from the first wife. After being with the third wife, we had been together maybe 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. And so now we're having kids. Now we got babies. We back in the church. We having babies. We having a family. We doing it the way that you're supposed to do it. Right. So cheater. You know what I mean? Like I find out she cheating on me. Now I find out cheating again. I find catch over here. Get rumors of words of she messing with this guy, and I'm like, Lord have mercy. So she done cheated on me. I done forgave her every time. We sat out.
So now you were to her what the second one was. I don't know if I lost count.
I was to her what the second one was to me.
Yeah, okay. You switched roles. All right.
Switch roles.
You loved her dirty. Yeah.
And I was that to the first wife.
Yeah, right.
I was that to the first wife too. Now, coming down to the third wife, I'm to her what the second wife was to me. Loved her dirty draws. She cheated on me. And then the last time she cheated, I was just done. I was like, okay, can't do it anymore. Mm-hmm. And that was in 2006.
Okay.
2008, I remarried. I divorced her, or we divorced each other. 2008, I remarried again to Patricia. Mm-hmm. Married Patricia. So that's wife number 4. Okay. So technically, I've been married 5 times.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now five is right. The charm.
But here's the thing. I found out after marrying Patricia that I really wasn't married to Patricia because Patricia was still married to her first husband.
Oh, wow. Bro, you can't make this up.
I can't make it up.
Oh, my God.
I can't make it up.
Okay. Hey. So now on wife 5.
Wife 5.
Where you are now.
I am now.
You admittedly say there's some trust issues that you have because
that has nothing to do with her.
That has nothing. Yeah, no, she is not at all anything like what you've experienced. No. Yeah. No, it's just what you brought in your little suitcase that you packed in.
Yeah, but the suitcase is smaller. Yeah, it's still a suitcase. It's a briefcase now. It used to be a big old luggage.
Yeah.
Now it's a little briefcase, and I still have some trust issues because I think now at my age, 57, I've come to a place with myself that I have confidence in me, and whether she's cheating or not, I realize, I heard a guy say this, you can't guard the coochie. You can't guard it.
Right.
So you might as well quit playing defense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
if somebody wants to do something, I don't care what you do. They're going to do it. If they want to do it bad enough, can't follow them 24/7. So what are your triggers now?
Something that looks like something you don't normally do.
And how do you question? Do you interrogate? How does that?
I might ask a question or two.
That feels like interrogation?
To her, yes.
Okay.
But it's actually not interrogation. I just want clarity.
Okay. All right.
I just want clarity.
Yeah.
Why did you do X, Y, Z?
Yeah. Now this is her first marriage too,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay. So you bring that to the table. You
bring
bring all the different
really feels
experiences.
Like interrogation.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And she's comfortable being alone.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And she's been that way for 50 years.
So
single.
So she can get quiet on you.
Oh. Quiet. I don't even know if that's the right word.
What does that look like?
I mean, man, you know, so my wife's not an arguer. She doesn't argue. She can, you know, she can say what she needs to say when she needs to say it, but she's not an arguer. Mm-hmm. And so and I'm a talker. I need to communicate. I need to explain, and I need to have an explanation. Mm-hmm. She doesn't feel it necessary to always give me an explanation. So I am talking to myself the majority of the time that we are in a I can't even call it a conversation. I don't know what to call it. Me talking to myself sometimes.
A disagreement?
But, you know, she will chime in where she wants to chime in at. But for the most part, I'm not sure if she's listening or tuning me out. I don't know if it, you know, how you...
Right, yeah.
I don't know if that's happening at some point.
Okay.
Because she will get up, put her house shoes on, throw on her robe, and go on upstairs.
And leave you there talking.
Without ever responding to anything I've said.
Wow. And that tears you up.
Oh, my God. I said, so I'll say, as she's going upstairs, oh, so this is what we're doing now, huh?
She don't even acknowledge it.
Keep on walking.
Keep on walking.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I get into bed and, you know, she'll reach over and rub my back.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me know.
Calm the savage beast.
I'm here.
Right.
You know, I'm here.
Right.
You know, so I'm trying to be nice now when I converse with her about things that are passionate to me.
Okay.
I try not to be, because going back to my sister and being taught how to cut with my tongue. Mm-hmm. You know, and then also trying not to talk out of the hurt that I've been through in my life.
Yeah. Because
something you're doing looks like what I've been through or something I've experienced.
False positive.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying now to just learn how to, and men, this is important, to not always be so stoic and think you have to be manly about it. Mm-hmm. Not listening. Or just not talking. If she ain't talking, then it's okay for you not to talk to her. Stick a pin in it and say, you'll come back to this later.
Yeah.
You know, because I see you not wanting to talk right now.
Mm-hmm. Instead of, you going to hear me right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I need to be heard right now.
You know, and, you know, we getting butt naked. That's what we're doing.
That's what
we had date night last night. So I dated my mate, and I wanted to mate my date.
Yeah,
for sure. Later. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I got to talking.
Yeah. I got to kill it every time.
I got to talking, man.
Yeah.
I kill it every time.
Yeah.
So when I went to date my mate, or mate my date, she was like,
Nah,
I said,
talk to yourself about it.
Why? She said, because all of that conversation you were having did not make me feel like coming for you at all.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's what we're doing right now?
This is real.
It's real, bro.
This is real.
So I had to roll over and say, learn how to shut up.
You talked yourself right up out of some good relations, my friend.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Hey, what I've heard you say out of all of this though is like we can get life. Hey, it's gonna life, right?
Yeah.
And whether I know the older I've gotten, I've been able to look back and identify things that has caused me to respond, react that I did or did not get, right? Yeah. And now I am putting it in a place. Yeah. I didn't get this. I responded. Now I start giving this. Yeah. Now I'm learning and have learned through therapy and counseling and different triggers and different other things. But a lot of times in life, men they can't identify the hurt, can't identify the trust issues, the mistrust issues, why we're projecting, why we're not, you know what I mean? That type of stuff matters. And then in each woman, you have a different thing that comes up, right? And I'm thinking, I done mastered this right here. Then I get to the next, no.
You ain't mastered her.
No, it ain't at all. But we don't know it's hurt.
That's powerful.
That you're dealing with. Then you're like, why does this keep following me? Why does this keep going everywhere I go? Why does it seem to display itself through these things? But we don't take time to identify what it is that is causing these issues.
You are a musician, and because of that, you understand that every note is important in a song. To play the right note.
Play the right note.
And also to play the right note for the right artist.
Yes, sir.
And so the thing about it is that every artist don't see a song the exact same way.
No, not at all.
And so he might come in playing a song particular way. They say, I don't want to do that right there. I want to do something else right there. Now he got to learn how to play a whole nother note in the place where he would normally do something else. And so that's how it is in relationships too. Especially when you have a different spouse or a different mate or a different girlfriend, different boyfriend. They not the same person that you used to. They ain't playing the same notes.
Right.
Nah.
They ain't playing the same notes.
Not at all.
You know, so we have to realize that.
That's a great analogy.
We have to learn. We have to learn a new song. We have to learn a new song. We got to be willing to learn. Willing to learn a new song. You know, so that's the whole. Or even if it's not a new song, a new way of like I heard this group of kids doing Michael Jackson stuff, man, and it was so different, but it was all Michael Jackson stuff, and it was powerful. I was like, but they were playing it in diminishing notes and it was nuts, man. I was like, oh my God, and I couldn't stop watching it, right? But it wasn't a regular Billie Jean. It was.
Nah, that's a great analogy. Me and my parents, my mom, now we speak in certain ones, my brothers and sisters that have struggled in different areas, right? And I'm like, Mom, if you notice the one area that all of us come in unison with and can excel in is the one thing we have done the most of what you guys have showed us the most, music. We can sit in music and feel like that's your sanctuary. We understand that like no other because you take the approach of what you've been taught the most, right? What we have been taught the most is relationships. We saw it
in church, probably.
Well, that's to get here, right? But it's like, how do we develop that?
Right.
How do we develop that relationship? We know how to walk on the stage. We know how to approach the music. We know how to break it down. We know what song needs what. That's been taught time and time again.
Drilled
practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. But how many times have we practiced how to approach and love?
Right. Come on, man.
How many times has that been shown?
And that's the key right there.
We haven't practiced it. We haven't been shown to practice that. So we failed at it miserably, and then failed at now as men. We have a platform now to come together, speak about more of these things that men just haven't really been comfortable speaking about.
And I would say this because I don't really look at my past relationships as failures.
Okay.
Because there was, being with somebody for 17 years is not, necessarily a failure.
You
Being with somebody
something.
for 5 years, you learn something. So you accomplish something in that process. So, my thing is that what I failed at was subduing my passion. I failed at commandeering my emotions. You know what I mean? Getting them under control and making sure that, God put that tree in the middle of the garden and said, don't eat from that tree. He didn't give no explanation. He didn't have to. He didn't have to say why.
Yeah.
He just said it. And so what we have to do is stop thinking that we got to have an answer to everything in order to understand it, and trust that God put us in a process for a reason, and that we're going to trust him through it. And when we do that, along with some therapy,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for sure.
we'll come out on the upside of it.
Oh yeah.
We will.
Yeah.
We will. I really believe that we'll come out, because you're hearing, you hear it more now than you ever have heard it before. Now churches are saying, you know what? Yeah, therapy is something much needed.
Oh yeah.
Because you're seeing now the pastors now having their own podcast,
Yes.
and they're coming out of. I mean, they're still in the pulpit on Sundays, but they're coming out of the pulpit and meeting the people where they are. The pastors are doing exactly the same setup that we have going on right now with the microphones and just having regular conversations because they learn what we were doing before. Not that it was all bad, but now we got to do something different to be able to relate and help the people that we're really trying to.
And you hear a lot of them say, I have a life coach.
Yeah.
I got a therapist.
Oh, yeah.
I talk to my therapist. A lot of the pastors are saying, because I don't know how you can deal with that many personalities of thousands of people and not need no therapy.
Oh yeah.
But it ain't even just about dealing with all those people, even though it's a part. It's like dealing with your own
stuff. Yes,
sir.
Yeah.
You may say, okay, I know what my gifting is, and I know that I give this to the people, but I got some stuff inside of me to make me feel like I'm going crazy, and I need to be able to dump it somewhere. And how do I manage this, the savage beast?
Yes, sir.
So everybody's got to have some of that. Listen, man, we could go on all night, because bruh, there's still so much of your story.
Listen,
we ain't said really nothing about kids. And I know you got some.
I got 8.
Yeah, so I mean that's a whole. It's parenting. If you willing to
8 kids, 40 grandkids, and one great grandkid.
Pook and I always talk about kids and stuff. If you're willing to come back at some point, man, we can talk about that.
Part 2.
Yeah, part 2. Part 2. But we gonna get out of here before this equipment starts smoking and bubbling over, man.
Right.
And appreciate you coming back again and again. And
appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
we'll get into some of the other stuff when I get back. I haven't talked about the deaths in my family.
Your siblings,
siblings passing and eulogizing them and what that was like, and being left with funeral bills and all that good stuff. So,
come on, man. We'll
be here a long time.
Yeah,
it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
And I know Tony seems really sleepy and tired, so I apologize for that because when he came in, he was like, "I'm so tired." Yeah. So I'm sure you could tell, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah, he's a professional. He knows how to turn it on. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
I think I yawned a time or two. Y'all excuse the yawning.
Yeah, no, he was off camera yawning. So anyway, we got to get out of here. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Join us next time. We out. Peace.
Peace.